This is not a general broadcast. This is the August forecast and the ultimate survival protocol specifically encoded for the Virgo architecture. If your geometric structure is Virgo, listen to the insidious murky whispers trying to infiltrate your perimeter. Look at the red, toxic fog the matrix is trying to pump into your sterile operating room. The unawakened masses are addicted to the illusion of potential. They are desperate for salvation, and they will accept any form of capital, no matter how dirty, chaotic, or mathematically flawed it is. They build their empires on unspoken agreements, vague promises, and toxic partnerships, terrified that if they demand precision, they will end up with nothing. They breathe the red fog, and it rots their foundation from the inside out. Virgo, in August, the Matrix relies on this exact vulnerability to infect your architecture. We have entered the coordinate of the Surgical Purge. Venus, the celestial planetary body of capital, value, and heavy gold, has entered your geometric territory. You are holding the ultimate financial and relational power this month, but the algorithm has deployed a massive trap. As Venus moves through your sign, it is violently opposed by Neptune, the archetype of the illusion, the fog, the scam, and the dirty money. Simultaneously, it is squared by Saturn, the enforcer of absolute, concrete, physical reality. This is not a transit of gentle organizing. This is a forced, structural sterilization of your entire empire. Throughout August, the market is going to test your density. The algorithm will offer you rapid, seemingly massive influxes of capital. The swarm will approach you with lucrative partnerships. But if you look closely, the edges of these offers will be blurred. The contracts will lack mathematical precision. The clients will refuse to provide transparent data. The money will be fast, but it will be dripping with the chaotic red glitch of unstated obligations and emotional manipulation. The algorithm wants you, Virgo, to accept the dirty money. It wants your biological urge to fix things, to override your geometric logic. It wants you to bring the infected red mass onto your operating table and waste your heavy, valuable capital trying to cure a virus. If you accept the murky contract, the infection will consume your vault. In this profound, high-density transmission, we are going to dissect the brutal thermodynamics of your August forecast. We are going to permanently eradicate your biological addiction to fixing broken structures and accepting compromised capital. And I am going to teach you the Surgical Purge Protocol, how to execute a hard lockdown on your perimeter, wield the heavy iron scalpel, cut away every single process that lacks absolute mathematical transparency, and sweep the chaotic nodes into the abyss. Virgo, stop trying to heal the glitch. Amputate it. To wield the annihilating power of your Virgo core this month, you must first recognize the lethal nature of the Neptune Trap. Virgo, you are the core processor. You are the auditor. You are biologically programmed to extract order from chaos, to analyze the data, and to refine the raw material of the matrix into flawless, functional perfection. In a clean environment, your analytical capacity is the most powerful operational force in the zodiac. But your matrix in August is flooded with the fog of Neptune. When Venus in your sign opposes Neptune, the celestial algorithm actively weaponizes your desire to be of service. Neptune is the planet of the mirage. It creates the illusion that a dirty, chaotic, unstructured opportunity can be fixed if you just work hard enough. Look at the mechanics of the unawakened Virgo during this transit. A client approaches them with a massive project but refuses to sign a clear, itemized contract. A business partner offers a highly profitable deal, but the origin of the funds is murky and the boundaries are undefined. Instantly, the unawakened Virgo's internal temperature shifts. Their ego, addicted to the identity of the savior and the problem solver, demands that they take the job. They convince themselves they can clean up the mess, they accept the vague terms, they let the red fog into their vault. This is exactly what the August algorithm punishes. Every time you accept a contract that lacks crystal transparency this month, you are injecting a kinetic leak directly into your operating system. You are taking the dense, heavy, valuable core energy of your empire and using it to subsidize someone else's chaos. You are acting as a free janitor for the unawakened swarm. The unawakened believe they are being useful. In esoteric physics, they are simply carrying a parasite. Virgo, you must understand that the murky obligations and the fast, dirty money offered to you this month are not genuine opportunities. They are highly calculated parasitic extraction protocols. The swarm knows that if they flatter your competence, you will accept their lack of structure. A sovereign architect does not clean up the dirt. They refuse its entry at the gate. The threshold of the Venus-Neptune opposition has been crossed. The most terrifying force in the universe is not the chaotic storm. The most terrifying force in the universe is the sovereign who looks at a highly profitable but mathematically flawed opportunity and coldly sweeps it off the table into the abyss. When the Matrix deploys the fog of dirty capital this month, your only viable geometric maneuver is the Surgical Purge Protocol. Virgo, you must execute a total eradication of the maybe in your business architecture. You must look at your resources, your contracts, and your partnerships, and you must sterilize them. Saturn's presence in this astrological alignment demands absolute, crushing physical reality. If a transaction, a relationship, or a project does not possess crystal transparency, defined boundaries, and absolute mathematical precision, it is a virus. Your biological Virgo ego will scream at you to compromise. It will tell you that if you demand perfection, you will lose the money. It will tell you that it is better to take the dirty capital than to sit in an empty vault. This is the arrogance of the red glitch. In esoteric brutalism, true density is not found in accumulation. It is found in absolute purity. 10 tons of solid heavy gold is eternal. 10,000 tons of rotting, infected red capital will eventually collapse your entire floor. When you drop your temperature to absolute zero and refuse the murky contract, you stop the kinetic leak. The swarm expects you to accommodate their lack of clarity. When you present them with a heavy iron scalpel and demand they provide the exact coordinates of their value, their chaotic red energy shatters against your freezing logic. By refusing the dirty money this August, you are forcing the Matrix to recognize your ultimate authority over the flow of capital. You do not accept the fog, you demand the concrete, you win the audit by cutting the cord. While the world suffocates in the fog of its own delusions, the Virgo monolith sanitizes the core. This is your hidden esoteric law for August. Because Venus is in your sign, you are the absolute operational center of the zodiac this month. Every other sign is relying on your geometric gravity to anchor the matrix. You cannot afford a single structural flaw in your perimeter. This is not a month for expansion. This is a month for surgical extraction. You must look at your daily operations. Where are you tolerating ambiguity? Which clients are constantly changing the scope of work without signing a new ledger? Which partners are promising future equity in exchange for your massive immediate labor? Which internal systems are held together by cheap glue and hope? You must take the heavy, dark iron scalpel and amputate those processes immediately. The unawakened are terrified of this purge because it requires them to look at the empty table. There is a moment of terrifying, freezing silence when you sweep a major but dirty contract into the abyss. There is no external validation when you say no to fast money. But the sovereign architect knows that the table must be completely sterile before the heavy gold can be placed upon it. By amputating the compromised systems, Virgo, you are actively identifying every single vulnerability in your empire. You are rewriting the terms of service. You are enforcing the boundaries. You are firing the clients who refuse to operate in reality. You are taking the raw, analytical gravity of your archetype and weaponizing it into an indestructible titanium filter. Let them think you are too demanding. Let them think you are difficult to work with. You are not difficult. You are mathematically absolute. The fog is locked out. The infection is amputated. The table is clean. Now, Virgo, we execute the final phase of the surgical purge. The sovereign architect does not negotiate with the virus. The sovereign architect eliminates it from the host. To weaponize the Venus-Neptune opposition and permanently secure your absolute invulnerability in August, you must enforce these 3 structural mandates. Mandate 1. The refusal of the fog. For the entirety of this transit, you will not accept a single verbal agreement, implied promise, or vague obligation. If the unawakened swarm approaches you with a lucrative offer but refuses to put the exact geometric parameters into a signed, concrete ledger, you will execute a hard silence. You will not explain your requirement. You will simply present them with the cold, heavy concrete of your absolute non-response until the data is provided. Mandate 2, the surgical cut. Today, you will identify one specific client, contract, or operational habit in your business that is generating dirty revenue, money, or value that costs you peace, sleep, or structural integrity. You will instantly wield the scalpel. You will sever the tie. You will fire the client. You will delete the chaotic process. You will not attempt to fix it. You will drop it into the abyss with the cold, heavy finality of an iron vault slamming shut. Mandate 3, the acceptance of the void. When the purge is complete and the parasites have been swept off the table, you will experience a terrifying drop in external kinetic heat. Your table will be empty. You will hold the suspension. You will not rush to fill the void with more dirty money just to feel busy. You will sit in the freezing, majestic silence of your flawless, sterile architecture, and you will let your unyielding concrete generate the massive, concentrated gravity required to attract only pure, heavy gold. The red fog is vaporized. The ambiguity is eradicated. The perimeter is absolute. Look at the space you occupy right now. You are no longer a frantic kinetic node desperately trying to organize the chaotic rot of the unawakened swarm. You are Virgo. You are the architect of the sterile core. You survived the Neptune audit. You did not let the algorithm force you to bleed your heavy capital into a broken machine. You demanded absolute, uncompromising geometric purity. The universe respects the sovereign who has the discipline to hold the empty table. When you prove that your internal density is more valuable to you than the cheap validation of fast, dirty money, the matrix stops offering you the fog. It submits to your terrifying gravity, recognizing that your architecture will only accept the absolute, undeniable weight of heavy gold. You are no longer the janitor of the matrix. You are the cold steel scalpel that cuts its flaws away. Now, execute your final structural mandates. First, anchor the sterility. The chaotic, unawakened algorithm of the world is constantly trying to drag you back into the red loop of fixing, compromising, and accepting the murky deal. It wants you exhausted, infected, and weak. This channel is the only transmission providing the heavy, brutalist, esoteric code required to maintain your absolute systemic dominance. Do not let your perimeter fail. Lock your mindset to the monolith. Second, isolate the compromiser. Another Virgo who is currently bleeding their esoteric gravity trying to save a toxic partnership or fix a chaotic client, terrified of losing the dirty revenue. Someone who is using their flawless operating system to process garbage. Send them this exact transmission right now. Force them to witness the terrifying power of the hard amputation. Elevate your circle by enforcing the discipline of the surgical purge. Third, lock the vault. The moment this video ends, you will not reconsider the cut. You will not look into the abyss to see where the dead contracts fell. You will close your screen. You will stand in the majestic, freezing silence of your own indestructible operating system, and you will let the entire universe align itself to the flawless, immovable, mathematical precision of your unblinking stare, the compromise is eradicated. The table is sterile. Command the cold, beautiful reality of your own heavy architecture.